Hello, and welcome to Let's Play Advance Wars. In this video, we're going to be tackling Campaign Mission 3. It looks like we're on an island off of the southwest of Orange Star. And there's a character here that we haven't met before. He's got slick back hair and he kind of looks like a flying ace. He says, what do we have here? Orange Star forces, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, I never am. I had heard that the Blue Moon Army had ruined them, but... how interesting. I think I'll entertain them for a while. Playing as Andy again. Andy says, "What's that?" Mission 3, Air Ace. Day 1. Andy says, "Didn't Nell say this area was empty? As in, no enemies?" Nell says, "Sodruns, Andy. Come in, do you copy?" Andy says, "Nell, there are hostile forces here." Nell says, "So it seems, but those aren't Blue Moon troops. I'll see what I can find out. Hold your positions. We have some bases you can use here as a last resort. Sodruns, watch over Andy, okay?" Alright, Campaign Mission 3. First thing we're going to do is check the terms. Nell says, "Capture the enemy HQ, or defeat all the enemy units to win. That's your mission, Sodruns." Now let's go to Intel and get some information about the enemy CO. His name is Eagle. He has the strongest firepower in the skies, but flounders at sea. Eagle is an ace pilot who's as tough as nails. Hit, lucky goggles. Miss, swimming. And for his quote, "Do you really want to challenge me?" His CO power is called Lightning Strike. Non-infantry units ordered to wait can move again that turn. However, their ratings are lower than normal. So I'm going to talk about Lightning Strike a bit in a sec. First, let's talk about Eagle's basic stats. So he has normal units, except for aircraft and naval units. Eagle's aircraft have a 15% attack bonus day to day, and a 10% defense bonus day to day. So it's almost like his aircraft sort of have like armor plating on them that makes them just a little bit tougher than normal. Although it's worth mentioning that in Advance Wars, anti-air units, such as missiles and anti-air guns, are still going to be deadly to Eagle's air units. But they do have a little bit more survivability. You'll notice the Eagle's battlecopters tend to stay alive a little longer, and his jets and bombers are a little bit harder to bring down. His naval units have a 20% attack penalty day to day. So, naval units are pretty bad, but he makes up for it by having good aircraft. Now let's talk about Lightning Strike. So this description here doesn't really do it justice. Lightning Strike is one of the best CO powers in the game because it essentially gives Eagle's units a second set of moves within a single turn. This works for all units except for infantry. And the reason it doesn't work for infantry is because if you could move the infantry twice in a turn, you could make them capture twice in a turn, and then capture properties in a single turn. But however, all other units are able to move again within the turn that you use the power. So this affords you lots of strategic advantages, such as being able to attack with your tanks, and then attack again with your tanks, all in one turn. You can move up artillery and shoot it in a single turn. You can shoot your artillery and pull it back in a single turn. Eagle can move his aircraft into enemy AA range, wreak havoc with them, and then pull them back out of enemy AA range, all within a single turn. So Lightning Strike can be devastating in the hands of a competent human player. The AI in Advance Wars does not really use it that well. But a human can work miracles with Lightning Strike. And like it says in the description, the second time the units move, they have a heavy attack and defense disadvantage. And that's put in there to just keep this power from being completely OP. So when units move a second time during the second phase of the Lightning Strike, they have a minus 30% attack penalty and a minus 20% defense penalty. So they are pretty much spent and are a lot easier to kill and do less damage. But nevertheless, they get to move a second time within a turn. Alright, so let's take a look at the map. It's an ocean map with 5 or 6 small islands. The islands are connected together by bridges and an S-shaped highway that goes from southwest to northeast. So I start in the southwest with a medium-sized land army and 2 air units, a battlecopter and a transport copter. In order to finish this mission in a timely manner, I need to keep both of these air units alive. Eagle starts with way more air units. He has 3 battlecopters, 2 fighters, and a bomber, as well as a small land army. So notice that Eagle's troops are green. So he doesn't belong to Orange Star or to Blue Moon, but to some third faction which has green colored troops. We'll find out more about them later. In order to get an S rank, I need to finish this map by day 7. It's pretty tough, but I have done it before. But if I get an A instead, I'm just going to take the A. Alright, so let's get started here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my anti-air and sort of send him out as a welcoming envoy to Eagle's battlecopter here. Notice how the damage predictor says 108%. Normally it's 120, and that's because Eagle's battlecopter has 10% defense, along with the rest of his air units. But it's still going to be destroyed in one hit. Boom. Then I'm going to take my medium tank, roll him forward, and shoot at Eagle's light tank on the road. Boom. Alright, I'm not going to say boom every single time. I'm going to move my battlecopter forward, making sure he stays out of range of the missiles, the battlecopter, and the jet, and finish off this tank. Now I'm going to move up my other units. The missiles go forward, the anti-air goes forward, the tank goes forward. I'll load a mech into the transport copter. Load another mech into the APC. Oops. I unloaded the mech by accident. And my income is only 6,000 per turn, so I can't build any tanks or AA guns, but I'll just build an infantry this turn. Day 1 for Eagle. We're hearing a new CO theme here. Bringing his fighters down, bringing his battlecopters down. Alright, so my goal is going to be to keep my copters within a sort of protective wall or little cocoon of troops. And the way to do that is try to use the edge of the map to my advantage. I'll fly the transport copter here, put the battlecopter here, put the tank, the medium tank there, the tank there, and then just make like a wall off those copters. So now see the copters are completely enclosed, and the fighters and enemy copters can't get to them. And I'll go ahead and build an anti-air. Day 2 for Eagle. He's capturing the little base in the northwest corner of the map, capturing a city. Moves his jets up, but they can't do anything. Taking a shot at my medium tank with his battlecopter, reducing it to 7. It's a pretty good hit on a medium tank from a copter. He's flying his other copter in to shoot at my APC. reducing it to 3. Alright, I think I'm in good shape because I can shoot at all of these units with my anti-air defenses. So the anti-air, or the missiles, I forgot what they were called. The missiles are going to take aim at Eagle's fighter. Normally this is 100% damage, but it's reduced by 10% to 90, so it's not quite going to destroy the fighter, but it will pretty much remove it as a threat. I'm going to take the anti-air that I just built. Well, first thing I'm going to do is take my APC and move him forward and drop off this mech. Then I'm going to take the anti-air that I just built, bring him in, and blast Eagle's battlecopter, destroying it in one hit. I'll take my medium tank and box in Eagle's fighter. So now the fighter can't even go anywhere. Take one of my other anti-airs, move it up, finish off the other battlecopter. Move my tank out of the way, bring the other battlecopter in to shoot at Eagle's fighter. Notice how they look like little A-10s. And now I can move my transport copter up. I'll move my battlecopter up. It's going to get shot at by this one hit point fighter, but it's not really going to do much damage to it. Build another anti-air. Move up my infantry. So I'm pretty sure Eagle's going to get lightning strike on this turn. Day 3 for Eagle. I forgot to mention before, but lightning strike is worth 50,000, so it's harder to accrue enough damage to trigger the lightning strike than it is other CO powers. He says, "Are you fool enough to believe you can withstand 2 of my attacks?" Alright, so now his fighter jet can move a second time. He's going to shoot at my transport copter for a second time, but it's only going to reduce it to 8. Nell says, "Sode runs, I've got it. I know who you've encountered. Those are Green Earth troops. Rumor has it that there's an independent battalion roaming about. I believe you found them. Watch out for their air units. They're supposed to be brutal." Andy says, "You're too late, Nell." Nell says, "What? Does that mean you're currently under attack?" "Well, good luck." Andy says, "Nell left us. She ran away." It's okay, Andy. Nell didn't run away. She's still on the other end of the radio, just like before. Alright, so yeah, like I was saying, Andy, Grit, and Olaf have 30,000 gold CO powers, meaning that they need to have 30,000 of damage inflicted on them to trigger it. But Eagle's is 50,000, so his is going to come in a lot less frequently. All right, I think I'm in good shape. I think it's possible for me to get this S if I play my cards just right. I'm going to take this APC, and unfortunately it needs to be sacrificed for the greater good. I'm going to put it on this forest tile right here because Eagle's bomber is able to fly straight south to bomb that APC. But don't you worry, there's going to be some anti-air waiting for him. Finish off Eagle's 5 hit point fighter with one of the anti-airs. I can't land my mech on the HQ this turn because the mech would get shot at by this tank or the bomber, so it needs to be next turn. Finish off Eagle's 1 hit point fighter. I said I was in good shape to get the S rank, but I'm not 100% sure that's going to happen. I think I might have needed to land on the HQ this turn. Not 100% sure. We'll see how it goes. Move up my other troops. Move up my anti-air. And we'll go ahead and build a tank just for fun. Day 4 for Eagle. Bringing his bomber down to shoot at the APC like we thought. Poor APC doesn't stand a chance. Alright. I'm going to use my artillery to eliminate this infantry on the bridge. Reduce it to 1. Finish him off with the tank. I'm so close to getting my hyper upgrade, or hyper repair power. Just a tiny bit more damage, and I'll get it. I'll use this anti-air, put him on the forest for maximum defense, shoot at the bomber. Reduces the bomber to 3, and the bomber's counterattack reduces the anti-air to 8. There we go, there's the power. Hyper repair. Heals all units by 2 HP. Bring in another anti-air, finish off that there bomber. So I needed the battlecopter this entire time to protect the mech as the mech captures the HQ. There's a tank here in the northeast corner, and that tank will come down and mess with the mech trying to capture the HQ. But that's why I brought along my battlecopter. I'll move this other anti-air up here and start slapping around this infantry on the city, reducing it to 2. Yeah, so Green Earth units basically look like German units, with a couple of weird exceptions. Like their fighter jets look like A-10s. The A-10 is an American attack plane. It's not German at all. Their helicopters look like Mi-24 Heinz, the giant Russian helicopters. But other than those 2 exceptions, pretty much all their units look like German units. So you can think of Green Earth as being like Germany. Day 5 for Eagle. Rolling his tanks forward. Moves up his 4 hit point infantry to block the road. I'll start the HQ cap. The Green Earth HQ looks like a little castle. Kind of funny. I'm going to bring up my copter and shoot at the shoot at Eagle's tank on the road there. Finish off this infantry. Not a lot left for me to do. Might be able to bring up some tanks to shoot at some stuff, but next turn I'm going to cap the HQ. Let's look at the status screen. Okay, so this is day 6, so tomorrow's day 7, and I should cap the HQ tomorrow, so I think I'm going to get the S. Day 6 for Eagle. He's rolling his medium tank forward, but it's not going to do him any good at all. Medium tank can't reach anything this turn. Start some city captures down here just for fun. I just pressed the speed up button on my emulator just now. It speeds it up to like 20 times speed. Finish off that tank on the road there. Alright. Going for the HQ cap. Victory. Eagle says, I lost? Huh? It's you, Andy. Andy says, yeah, but who are you? Eagle says, don't play dumb with me, boy. I'll never forget what you've done. Andy says, huh? Eagle says, so, continuing to feign ignorance, eh? Very well, but the next time we meet will be our last. Andy says, hey, wait up. He's gone. What was that all about? Who in the world is that? Nice, there's the S. See if it's enough to rank me up. Not quite. I'm still rank 95, Opal Rat. On to the save screen. That's gonna wrap it up. Peace.